So my name is Dieckmann. I'm working organizational psychologist and I have different hats on. I work for the Copenhagen Academy of Medical Education and Simulation, a little bit outside of Copenhagen. And I'm also a professor for the university in Stavanger in Norway, working with patient safety and healthcare education. Well, I think that we can use simulation for many more things when we actually use it in the moment. We do many good things already, but I think the idea of looking at normal situations, looking at what kind of roles emotions play in the diagnosis and treatment of patients, and also how we can use simulation for optimizing organizations. This interplay of human technology and organization is what I'm interested in, and what role simulation can play in this. So what I know about this, I'm really impressed by having such a high level of support, to have the ministry supporting simulation in the way that it did. I think, to my knowledge, that's unique around the world actually, that actually the government supports simulation in such a way. I think that sounds very impressive. And I think there is obviously a large investment into the equipment, into the centers and so on. And I think a conference like this can also then support actually working together to develop the concepts that you need to really make use of the equipment, and also to train the people that you need to make this happen. And lastly, also the whole networking idea of a conference like this, of a network like this, of a support of simulation on a national basis. I think that's really very impressive. Well, I think the key probably is to really work together. So I'm from Germany originally, and in Germany the educational institutions did not really manage to say, let's work together. You have many different institutions who are in competition with each other, and they never really got their energy together to make sure that simulation becomes a part of the curriculum. I moved to Denmark. There the situation was different. All the still also competing institutions said, in order to get simulation sustainable, in order to make it a mandatory part of the curricula, we all have to put our competition aside for a moment and work together. And that is how they actually got simulation into the curricula. And I think for every country, to think about how can we put our competition aside to work together and to actually get simulation into the curricula, that is the necessary step. And I think a conference like this can maybe pave the ground for such a collaboration. And it's not easy because all the universities are in competition with each other. You have the rankings, you have every kind of different affordances that would prime universities and educational institutions, also from schools, for example, nursing schools, to be in competition with each other. But I think for this sense here, it makes sense to work together. I think simulation has a big role in this, and the sooner we begin with this, the better. So sometimes you see, the different professions are brought up in silos. So the medical students learn with each other, the nursing students, the midwife students, and so on. They all learn separately. And then once they are finished, then we tell them, now you have to work together. Why don't we start this earlier and take the extra mile in connecting the different educational institutions and bringing the students together so that they learn with each other from the beginning. I think it has many positive effects, that you learn to collaborate, that you get to meet the other people, and you see that yes, you have different tasks, you have different expertise elements, but you're not worth more or less than the others. And I think it's easier to get this message across if we start early.